Many residents seeking comfort in the aftermath of Katrina not only saw their homes and livelihoods washed away, but their places of worship as well. Congregation Beth Israel suffered catastrophic damage during the storm, which left 10 feet of standing water inside. It destroyed essentially everything, including its Torah scrolls. Rabbi Uri Topolosky joins me now from New Orleans, and he moved there in July to rebuild the synagogue. And Rabbi, you held morning services, I understand, at the building site today. How was that for you?
Good morning, Tamron. Thank you for having me. This morning, our synagogue met about 40, 50 people at the site of our old building here in Lakeview, which is just to the left of this wall. And it was quite an emotional morning for our congregation. Many of our members were crying as they moved through the service, recalling the last 40 years in this space and the homes that they lost and the community that they lost. But the beautiful story here is that we were able to come back. My wife and I and children moved here this summer as the new rabbi of the synagogue, and the synagogue has committed itself now to rebuilding. And so we have come together, and that is a beautiful story.
You know, Rabbi, I've been to New Orleans twice since Hurricane Katrina, and I spoke with a minister of a church who said pretty much what you're saying, that it will be the synagogues, the churches, the religious leaders who really help pull New Orleans out of this pain. What kind of help are you getting from the public outside of those who live there?
Well, that's a great question. You know, New Orleans is such a beautiful city and filled with cultural life, and we feel so much support coming from family, from friends, visitors who are still coming to New Orleans. This is going to be a wonderful city for many, many years. And so we feel that public support and friendship. But within our own community, you know, there is just a tremendous resilience of the people that have stayed now 2 years and have rebuilt their homes, are now turning the corner. What was in the beginning a very difficult rebuilding process is now coming to light for those that have put in the effort and tried to stay. And so now, you know, there's an old rabbinic Jewish saying from Rabbi Nachman of Breslov that says, you know, that if you believe in the ability of such destruction to occur, then you must be able to believe in the ability for tikkun, for rebuilding. And we feel that here. Many people believe that Hurricane Katrina, and at least the effects here in New Orleans and in Lakeview, this was not so much a God-made disaster, but much more a human disaster. And to a human disaster, there is easily a human response. And that's what our family and the community here is trying to come together to understand, that this can be a human response. This can be our ability to lift our community back up and rebuild together.
Well, very beautiful words and sentiment, Rabbi. Thank you so much for talking with me this morning. And remember, there will be a moment of silence in New Orleans to remember the victims of Katrina, followed by a statement from President Bush.